So unfortunately, we've had a bit of an ant infestation, and I've discovered there was actually some colonies living under my Nepenthes pots. So I've had to move all of the plants off the table, and in this video we're going to be rearranging them, and I'll do a tour of all my Nepenthes plants. Okay, so this is what I've managed to do so far. We've got most of the larger plants are around the edges. I've got some of the smaller ones on this corner, but we'll continue putting more plants on and then I'll start the tour.
A few moments later.
Okay, so after lots of work, here we have our new arrangement of Nepenthes. As I said in the last update, I've put most of the larger pots near the back of the table, and I've got some of the smaller ones at the front so I can easily access them. So let's go ahead and start the Nepenthes tour. I'm going to show you all the plants on this table, the ones hanging below, and the Nepenthes that are hanging in the tree. So let's get started. So first up, we have my Nepenthes Lowii Mount Kinabalu cross truncata from Exotica Plants. I'm going to try to make this tour pretty quick, so I'm not going to talk about each and every plant for a long time because I've got two of these, so I'm only going to show you one. So this plant actually has a new picture around the back, which you can see. The other one isn't doing as well, but you can see this plant is doing some leaf jumps, so I'm excited to see how large the pictures will get. Right beside it, we have a Nepenthes Veitchii cross Boschiana from Eat Me Exotics. I got this at a carnivorous plant meeting a couple months ago, and it's put out this nice picture since I got it. And it's actually got another one on the way from that leaf around the back. So next we'll move on to the sort of elephant in the room. It's my very large Nepenthes Ventricosa cross truncata, and I found out recently this hybrid, as well as Ventricosa cross maxima, originated way back in the 1990s to early 2000s, which is really incredible compared to the newer hybrids coming out from Exotica Plants, for example like this truncata cross nebularum here. And these plants feature a plain green pitcher body, but it also has a very nice red striped peristome. It actually comes out very pronounced, but then the stripes fade down as the peristome ages. And something interesting about this plant is it actually holds a lot of pitchers. So I'll just count them right here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 pitchers on this plant currently, but it has had more before. So let's move on to the next plant. Sort of hidden in the gap between these two plants, we've got my female Nepenthes Ventricosa, which is currently flowering, as you can see. I put some St. Pacificus pollen on there. So it's going to be Ventricosa cross Insignis, which is going to be an interesting hybrid. It's only got a few pictures on it currently, but here's one of them. This is an upper picture. I think it's got a lower somewhere around there. These ones are sort of dried up, but you get the point. So right next to it, I just cut this one back. It's got a lot of I've got a lot of cuttings down there. I'm not going to go through those, but this is my Nepenthes Gothica from Tripod Park. I find this one doesn't get as beautiful as the one from Exotica Plants, which I have down there. I didn't get it directly from them, I got it from a different supplier. But yeah, this Gothica, I find it tends to have much larger leaves. It actually has got a basil coming, which is exciting. So let's move on to the next plant. The next plant is actually one of the largest in my whole collection, even though I just cut it back. This is my Nepenthes Ventricosa cross maxima I mentioned before. It actually is flowering right now. It's a male plant. I've tried to pollinate with that before, but it hasn't worked out. It has got lower pitches and upper pitches, even though these are starting to dry out. But you can see they're pure yellow, but the lower pitches are quite different. This is where the plant gets its nickname Red Leopard. And this has been just growing wonderfully for me. It's put out about 5 different vines, and it's still growing to this day. And while I'm near it, I might actually quickly showcase the Gothica from Exotica Plants. As you can see, it has a much thicker peristome compared to the other one. These cuttings are as follows. So that is red leopard from this plant. These are some Nepenthes Roco cuttings. This is more red leopard. Actually, no, that's Nepenthes ventrata. And over here, wait, no, I've got it mixed up. So this is ventrata, but over here, that's Gothica and a bit of red leopard. So excuse my mixing up of those cuttings, but here we have a basil off my Nepenthes ventricosa cross truncata. I just tried to experiment with sphagnum moss, as you can see, and it did work out. I did 2 basils, but one of them didn't work out. So let's move on to the next few. I'm making it a bit difficult for myself by skipping a bunch of plants and then going back. But this is my Nepenthes copperlandii. It's a very nice species, similar to Maxima. And this is my Nepenthes lowii cross veitchii cross boschiana. It's got a very nice picture coming out over here. Hasn't opened yet, but yeah, it's going to be really nice. This is one of my favourite hybrids from Exotica Plants. Here we have a Nepenthes, veitchii cross Burbigiae. This is the one in my profile picture. Gets very nice pictures. They're almost pink when they open up. It's got another one coming here, but it's a very slow grower. This used to have a massive vine, but that just died off, so I cut it back and it's got a nice basil. This is another one of my very large plants. It's Roco exotica cross boschiana cross truncata, and it gets very large pitches, and those pitches have a nice flared peristome. You can see some ants running over it there. It is also flowering, but the seed pods haven't started swelling up yet. It's having a hard time focusing. Yeah, I put the same St. Pacificus pollen on that. Okay, so right here we have a Thurlii. This also used to have many big vines, but again I cut them off. It hasn't got any pitches, but it has got some that are about to open. Oh, this one's actually popped open, but the pitches are very small. I'm going to have to wait for that one to grow out until it really gives me some nice pitches. So right here we have my Nepenthes Roco. I'll probably go around the other side because it has some good pitches over there, so I'll just do that. So here's the picture on my Roco that I was talking about. Has a nice flared peristome. Geez, this is really having trouble focusing, but you can see that peristome, and it has purple flecks on the inside. This vine actually starts at the bottom, goes up and around, and is actually coming down the other side. It does have a mid-stem basil that's starting to vine up now. It's got a picture there. Yeah, so right next to it we have Nepenthes truncata cross nebularum. I got this new from Exotica Plants recently, so it's got a nice picture. Where is it? It's down there. Hasn't started swelling up, but I've mentioned this plant a lot recently. Actually, have I? No, I don't know. I was going to post a few shorts, but I don't think I've gone through them yet. This is a nice truncata squat that I also got from Exotica Plants quite recently. It's got another picture around the back that's sort of fading away, but put out this new one. There's my other lowii cross truncata. Not going to talk about that. Here's a truncata giant cross giant. This plant, a caterpillar bit off the growth point, and then it got some sort of pest infestation, and it's finally starting to grow again. So it has this picture, and it has this one that's swelling up. So I'm pretty excited for this truncata to start to grow out. So yeah, let's move on to the next few. Here's another one from Exotica Plants. I actually got this one for free. It's a Nepenthes ventricosa cross sebionensis cross Roco exotica. The pictures have died off that it came with, but it's got this one that's about to open here. These plants have actually settled in really nicely compared to others that I've got from Exotica Plants. Here is a Nepenthes boschiana from Eat Me Exotics. It's got this tiny little picture on it here. but Boschiana is one of my favourite species near Veitchii, so yeah, it's nice to have the pure species. This is not a Nepenthes, but I'm going to show it anyway. It's a Pinguicula hawkesbury, one of the only Pinguicula that I've been able to actually grow in my conditions. These aren't doing well at all. They're my Nepenthes stenophylla. I've got 2 of them. Here's another Ventricosa cross maxima cutting. This one's actually growing, so that's always good. I'll just go over this side. I've got some plants that aren't doing well at all over here, such as this Bill Bailey Ventricosa cross ampullaria, Rafflesiana cross sibunensis, Rafflesiana cross ampullaria, and a Ventricosa that I took cuttings off. That's a bit messy, but that's the only one that's doing okay. And I've got some more Ventricosa cross maxima cuttings. These are just starting to pop, as you can see. So let's move on to the plants in the tree. So the first plant happens to be this maxima that got a bit burnt in the sun, but the new leaves look okay, so it should start producing some pitches. Just having a look at those tendrils, seeing if they're good. Here we have a Nepenthes Miranda, and I was shocked because this plant has never done well for me, but it's just put out this amazing picture right here. I really like that mottled coloration on the Miranda, but they've never been able to grow well for me, so I was excited to have that picture pop open. Right here we have I forgot what it is. Let's get the tag. It's a Ventricosa cross Lowii cross Gothica. I got this at a carnivorous plant meeting as well. This plant has some nice pitches. It's got that Lowii influence because of that hourglass shape, but it's a bit muted because of the Ventricosa. And here's another Miranda. This one has massive leaves, but no pitches. As I said, they never do well for me. Oh, actually, I just noticed something. Have a look at this beautiful picture around the back. I actually never saw this. Oh my gosh. I reckon that's got to be a thumbnail. I never saw that picture because it was hiding down the bottom. I'm just going to leave that out so I can take some photos of that later. Okay, so I changed my mind about Miranda. They do wonderfully for me. Okay, so back to the Nepenthes. We've got a Ventricosa cross Jacquelineae here. It's got a nice picture there and a little small one off the basil. Here's a pure Nepenthes alata. The pictures it has are dying off, but it's got this new one coming out, which is always good. There's a Ventrata that I took the cuttings off. It was sort of climbing amongst these bushes and I didn't want it to get too tangled. So there's some pictures on the basils. Here's a Maxima. I think it's a different form to this dark one I have here, but I'm not quite sure. I just got it to test it, basically. And around the back of that, we have 2 plants. This is another Nepenthes Rocco with some nice upper pictures there. And this is, I reckon, my most difficult plant that I've grown so far. Oh, my camera's doing something funny. There we go. So this is my Nepenthes truncata cross Edwardsiana, and this plant has literally never done well for me. It's only got 1 picture since I got it. So you can see that some plants they do well, and some plants they just struggle all the time. Okay, so let's move on to the last few. So when I said the last few, I meant in the tree, because we've still got to do those ones hanging under the table and on the floor. Here we have Nepenthes Louisa, which is a complex hybrid. I cut this plant back and put the cuttings in the same pot, so it's got lots of small pitches. This is another Ventricosa. It's got a couple pitches down there. This one got a bit squished, but it still looks pretty good. This is a new Nepenthes truncata cross Mira that I got from Little Pot of Horrors. And this is a Lady Pauline or Maxima cross Talangensis. This plant has just blown me away with its growth because of these amazing pictures. It's got about 4 of them back there. This is the Maxima Dark that I mentioned before. And the last plant in the tree I'll have to go around. It's a Nepenthes St. Pacificus that I took the pollen off. It's got 1 picture there. So let's move on to the plants under the table. Okay, so here we have the plants under the table. This is a Nepenthes ventricosa cosibinensis. It doesn't have any pictures right now, but the pictures basically look like a more red ventricosa with slight teeth on it. And here we have Ventricosa crosscarsiana, which is cross emerine. It has one picture on it here. Actually, no, it has two. There's one behind there. Has sort of orangey pictures. Here we have Nepenthes alardii or tivii. It's Ventricosa cross maxima. Here it's has pretty nice pictures. And here we have another Saint Pacificus, Ventricosa cross insignis. I'm still amazed about that Miranda, and I've just discovered it has even more pictures on it, although they're quite smaller. Where's it gone? Yeah, here's another one, and there's actually a picture swelling up down there, and a tendril going off into there. So, yeah, that's an exciting update for that plant, because that's literally never done well for me, so that's pretty cool. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.